Institute of Engineering and Technology.
Hello students. In this talk, we are going to cover a special category of the function which are falling into the transcendental functions. And we are going to discuss two of the most fundamental functions into this category known as beta and gamma functions. These functions are defined by definite integrals. So let us consider this part which will help you to identify some values which are yet unknown in the mathematics for you. Like how to find the value of fractional factorial. For example, how to find 1 by 2 factorial. What is integration of 0 to infinity e raised to minus x square dx? All these questions are still unanswered. Today, with help of these special functions, we can find the answer for those questions. So I hope all of you will follow this video very clearly and you will try to pause and ponder at the stage where you feel that it is something which is important. Although I will elaborate each and everything in detail, but you should pause at the time where you feel that this is going to be a crucial calculation for you. So let us start this portion of special function, which is gamma function. What is gamma function? So gamma function is a category of special transcendental functions which is defined by improper definite integrals. Now, what do you mean by this thing? It is defined like this. The symbol of gamma n is on the left hand side, and then you have integration from 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1 dx, and this is for n greater than 0. This is how we are defining gamma function. Try to look at this value once again. The limits are 0 to infinity e raised to minus x, x raised to n minus 1. Or you can consider another value also. Gamma of n is alternatively defined by 2 times 0 to infinity e raised to minus x square, x raised to 2n minus 1 dx. Let us consider some properties of this function, which is gamma function. The first and the most useful property of gamma function is it follows this relation. Gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n times gamma of n. Gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n factorial whenever n is positive integer. Gamma of n plus a is equal to n plus a minus 1, n plus a minus 2, and up to so on, a times gamma of a. Gamma of 1/2 is nothing but root of pi. And 0 to infinity e raised to x dx is root pi by 2. 0 to 1 log x raised to n x raised to m dx is minus 1 raised to n upon m plus 1 raised to n plus 1 gamma of n plus 1. You should remember all these properties. Now let us move to the examples. So this is my first example, how to find value of gamma of minus 1 by 2. We know that gamma function is defined for n greater than 0, but using formula you can treat these values also. So gamma of n plus 1 is equal to n times gamma of n, taking n as minus 1. So on the right hand side we are receiving the value for which this calculation is all about. So it is gamma of 1/2 equal to minus 1/2 gamma of minus 1 by 2. But we know what is value of gamma of 1 by 2, it is root pi by 2. And therefore, what I can do, I can evaluate this value minus 2 on the other side, and that gives me gamma of minus 1 by 2 is minus root pi. So this is how you can find the value of gamma for negative values also. One more example, 0 to 1 x log x raised to 4 dx. These are all integrals which cannot be solved directly by analytical method or methods which you know up to 12th standard. For that you need gamma and beta functions. So this is the property. Log x raised to n x raised to m dx is minus 1 raised to n upon m plus 1 whole raised to n plus 1 gamma of n plus 1. Here I am taking n equal to m equal to 4 as per my requirement into the example. So it will result into 1 upon 5 raised to 5 gamma of phi. Now we know what is value of gamma of phi. Gamma of n is n minus 1 factorial. So 5 gamma of 5 is 4 factorial, and therefore the value of my question is 4 factorial upon 5 raised to 5. Let us move to the another case. Suppose the question is 0 to infinity fourth root of x e raised to minus root x dx. So I need to take one supposition first. Root x equal to t, x equal to t square. So dx is 2t dt. Taking all this value into the integration, it will give you 2 times 0 to infinity t raised to 3 by 2 e raised to minus t dt. And that means you can rewrite this as 5 by 2 minus 1 e raised to minus t, and that is nothing but 2 times gamma of 5 by 2. How to find gamma of 5 by 2? Gamma of n is n plus 1 is n into gamma of n. So here I need to reduce one number from 5 by 2. So it is 3 by 2 gamma of 3 by 2. Applying same rule, 1 by 2 gamma of 1 by 2. So finally it is 3 by 2 root pi. So I hope all of you are now pretty much clear about the first part, which is gamma function. So after gamma function, now we are going for beta function. What is beta function? How it is defined? The beta function is again into the category of special transcendental functions, and it is defined by improper definite integral. This is the definition. Beta of mn is 0 to 1 x raised to m minus 1 1 minus x raised to n minus 1 dx. N greater than 0, m greater than 0. Let us see some properties of beta function. Beta of mn is equal to beta of nm. That means these values n and m, they are symmetric by nature. You can interchange n and m at any stage of calculation. You can convert beta function in form of integration with trigonometrics sine and cos. It is defined by 2 times 0 to pi by 2 sine raised to 2m minus 1 theta cos raised to 2n minus 1 theta d theta. One more property is beta of mn is 0 to infinity x raised to m minus 1 upon 1 plus x raised to m plus n dx. And finally, you can also rewrite this as 0 to 1 x raised to m minus 1 plus x raised to n minus 1 upon 1 plus x raised to m plus n dx. These are 4 fundamental properties of beta function. Let us check some other well-known properties. The first is the relation in between beta and gamma function. How we can switch from beta function to gamma function and gamma function to beta function. Beta of mn is gamma of m into gamma of n whole divided by gamma of m plus n. Second is Euler's formula. Gamma of n into gamma of 1 minus n is nothing but pi upon sine n pi. This is one of the most useful formula in engineering problems. Finally, duplication formula. Gamma of n into gamma of n plus 1 by 2 is root pi gamma of 2n upon 2 raised to 2n minus 1. Now let us focus on examples of beta function. Suppose we want to solve this 0 to 1 x raised to 4 into 1 minus root 5 whole raised to 5 dx. What I will suggest you at this point is you try to figure out the solution without beta and gamma function. You should pause and try at least for some suppositions and check whether you can find solution without using these special functions or not. So I hope all of you are now pretty much aware that why we are dealing with this beta and gamma function, because in such situations we cannot solve it by our regular techniques. So again I am assuming root x equal to t. So it will give me x equal to t square, dx is 2t dt. And then if I figure out what will be the inputs, then it is 2 times 0 to 1 t raised to 9, 1 minus t whole raised to 5 dt, and then this is nothing but the definition of beta function. So it is 2 times beta of 10, 6. Converting this beta value into the gamma, gamma of 10, gamma of 6 upon gamma of 10 plus 6. So it is gamma of 10, gamma of 6 upon gamma of 16. And then finally, by taking these values in form of factorial, it is 2 into 9 factorial, 5 factorial upon 15 factorial, and finally it is 1 upon 15015. So I hope this part is also clear. How to deal with beta and gamma function. These are two very fundamental functions in engineering problems. And then at this junction, I would like all of you to go for one example. 0 to infinity e raised to minus x square dx. Try to figure out how to solve this integration. And one more thing, try to find a proof or try to find a relation statement which is beta of mn is nothing but gamma of n into gamma of n upon gamma of m plus n. And then come back and look at this video once again. The answer is already discussed in this video, but not directly, it is indirectly discussed. So I hope all of you enjoyed this session of beta and gamma function. Our last part is remaining, which is nothing but applications of integral. In that part, we are going to see how to find distance of a particle traveled on a sine wave or on a cos wave or any random curvature. We'll also see how to find surface area of any random solid. And at last, we'll see how to find volume using cross sections. Thank you.
LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology.